Good morning, good midday, good afternoon in South Africa. I think that's what it is. I'm firing up my chat so I can see you. Hi, guys. Headed in. We're going to talk about enemies of connection today. And I'm so excited because, guys, we got to know the plan of our enemy. We must understand the plan of our enemy. Did you know that spiritually, today we're talking about emotional enemies, relationship enemies, but also spiritually, your enemy woke up with a plan this morning to take you down? He did. He had a playbook all set, ready to seek, capture, destroy. He did. He had a plan. And if you don't have a plan to win, to stay in peace, to maintain who you are, to know who you are, to behave out of who you are, he's going to win because he did. He had a plan. He is on the offense, and we must also be on the offense. You guys know what I'm talking about? But we're going to start talking for the next couple days about enemies of connection, enemies of safety, security, belonging, and that peace that we all want our kids to grow up in, and the repair that we want to do in the relationships that have been broken. I want you to get down now. No. Get down. Tipsy, get off of me. It's 5 degrees outside. Just kidding. It's probably 20 some degrees outside. So the dog, no, has not been spending nearly enough time. Nope, come here. Running outdoors with us because we're not running outdoors this week. Sit down. We need to adjust. Put on some layers, lay down, and take her to the dog park. So today we're going to talk about a word that I've been obsessing over a little bit because when I read it to you, you'll know why. Why am I? Because it's so illuminating. And I knew about the word for a long time. I'm a relationship coach, so I can see the word when it happens. But I recently read the definition, and the word we're going to talk about today is defensiveness. And I've been thinking about the word defensiveness as an enemy of connection, and I kind of want to draw some defensiveness today. Oh, it says my live stream is experiencing connectivity issues. Can you guys hear me still? Defensiveness. I'm going to say it the very short way. You got walls up. That's the short way to talk about defensiveness. Cool. I saw some hearts. Does that mean you can hear me? Hi, Brenna. Good morning. Okay. Defensiveness. I'm going to read you a definition. I'm going to see if I can read you a definition without going on live. Can you still see me? If I'm in another tab, because I'm pulling up. Oh, let's see. It's about to happen. It's a delay over here on my thing, so. Yes! You can still see me. Okay. Defensiveness. This is just the overview when you Google the word defensiveness. Defensiveness is a self-protective reaction, often to perceived criticism, where someone responds to perceived threats with blaming, excuses, sarcasm, or withdrawal, rather than engaging with the issue. It escalates conflict and prevents resolution by shifting blame and avoiding responsibility, often stemming from insecurity or past experiences, including, but not limited to, counterattacking, responding to a complaint with an accusation, why didn't you do it? Blaming and excuses, fishing for reasons why you're not at fault, sarcasm or silent treatment. Sarcasm, y'all. I'm just going to say that. Sarcasm, y'all. You can fill in the rest. Good morning, Lynn. Hi. Righteous indignation or victimhood, portraying yourself as unfairly attacked, or rigidity, stubborn or inflexible in your position. Y'all, this is what we're dealing with in relationships where there's not accountability, honesty, connection, and love flowing. Defensiveness is kind of an umbrella word for walls are up. I like to think of when I experience someone with their walls up, I also think there's like spikes on the outside of the walls. Sometimes defensiveness can sound like logical reasoning about the truth, or like, well, let's talk about reality, or the excuse is that what you're bringing is too emotional. It's not tangible, so it's hard to understand or get a hold of. Um, and people will go into this logical reasoning about what's going on instead of saying, you're right, and here's why I did that. Or, I do feel like I am not measuring up in that way. And typically, the reason that defensiveness comes on the scene is because of shame or insecurity, which is, I'm going to put a bunch of stuff, okay, there's a bunch of behaviors and stuff under the umbrella of defensiveness, blame and excuses and reasoning and arguments. And then there's a bunch of stuff under the umbrella of shame, which is like a general sense that I'm not enough, or that there's something wrong with me, and that when it's exposed, I'll be found out for the fraud that I am, or for the worthless someone that I am. That deep down inside, at the core of me, there's something wrong. And what's crazy about these two terms, defensiveness and shame, is that defensiveness is actually in place to keep shame alive. Isn't that crazy? Because if you can shine a light on shame, if you can see it, meaning if I can talk about it, own it, put it in the light for somebody, and they can see it and love me in that place, the shame can't live. Shame requires hiddenness to thrive. And so when we are dealing with defensiveness, I'm not even going to say defensive people, because people aren't defensive, but they can behave in a defensive way. It's not who they are. It's because there are lies about them buried behind those walls that are too big or scary to look at. And the truth is, when we look at those lies, and when we let someone who loves us see the things we really think about who we are that are painful, or the things we really think about the way they feel about us that are painful, those things cannot survive. So defensiveness is like a tactic of our spiritual enemy. And the Bible paints this picture of a stronghold, a tower. You can think of defensiveness like a tower. It's like castle walls built up around a heart. And it feels like, I'm going to draw like stone wall. This is funny. I won't get through enough circles to really make a whole one, but it feels like it protects us. It feels like we're safer behind the wall, way back here in the tower. And the Bible refers to this as a stronghold. A stronghold means a fortress, and a stronghold is a fortress. This is a castle. This is what's in my head, and I finally had to draw it. I don't know if that's helpful to you. In here somewhere, back behind this, is the truth of what's in your heart, though. Scripture says the weapons of our warfare are not carnal in nature, but they have spiritual power to tear down strongholds, which are belief systems that hold themselves up against the knowledge of Christ. And here's what's so cool. If we do this work and we get our walls down, we are a walking invitation for everybody around us to also have our walls down. I'm going to tell you about some breakthroughs that I've had with my kids over the last few years that were so powerful. My kids have had quite a life. They have experienced 2 marriages in their parents and 2 divorces. Y'all, that is some heavy duty things on their own for kids to live through. But not only did their parents get divorced. I got remarried and then divorced again. My second husband also went to prison for crimes that my kids are not old enough to understand yet, if you know what I'm talking about. So they have dealt with a ton of mistrust and fear and shame, beating themselves up and what's wrong with me that no one's here for me, or all these lies, right? But I'm going to tell you that even from 5 years old and up, maybe even 4 years old, they could talk to me about what they believe, about what's in their heart. And I'm going to tell you why. It is because we have pioneered a path for them where it's okay to say how you feel about yourself, what you're thinking, what you're beating yourself up over, how it feels, meaning that you actually have the feeling in front of somebody. And we're still going to hold the standard of integrity. So it would be like, I have shared with them through tears, not in an overwhelming way that it's theirs to fix, but in a revealing way. Do you know the difference? Revealing my heart, not dumping it on somebody. They have no obligation to me when I reveal myself. Write that down and do it in every one of your relationships. The other person has no obligation to you to fix what's going on when you reveal yourself. That is entirely up to them. So I'm talking more like, it would sound like, hey, I feel so sad that yesterday I was so busy and I really wanted to do science with you. And by the time we got done with school and dinner, and then we just like watched a TV show and went to bed, I just felt so sad and I missed you and I want to be there more. This is like the opposite of defensiveness. Because they will come at me and say, you were too busy, right? So when they hear, I'm so sad, and sometimes I have big scary thoughts that I'm not a good enough mom to you. And I know that's not true, and here's what Jesus says about me. And so I'm going to keep living that. I just want you to know that about the battle that I'm doing in my head. And here's the safeguard. If you're like, don't put that on kids. The safeguard is that you'll see them open up about their own selves. And when they do that, you will know. Has anyone ever shared something with you from their heart and you're like, this is not the whole story? And then they share something with you from their heart and it's clear it is the real thing. You can have relationships where the real thing is what's on the table, and you will know. And this is why I make the claim that I can go to bed at night knowing that I was a good mom today, because my kids are honest with me about their inner dialogue. They emote their feelings in front of me, and we work through our battles together. Is this making sense? This feels a bit rambly today, but we're going through some moments like this in real time. In our family, Lynn says, yes, the real thing is also so much better. It's so crazy how it registers, how the truth registers. When someone really opens up to you and shares what's going on, how quickly that fixes the tension between you, or the mystery or the confusion or the blame or the backtalk or the bad attitudes. Connection just immediately clears it all up. And connection comes from, I've revealed myself to you. It's the opposite of defensiveness. Into me see is how I've heard Danny Silk and a handful of others talk about this. They call intimacy is into me see. And with into me see, you can heal any relationship, because if you do into me see, how many of you have had the experience where you do intimacy, but the other person is not going to do intimacy? And so it's really hard. It's really scary to let someone see you when they aren't going to share their feelings. They're not letting their walls down. But because you are rooted and grounded in Christ and you don't need them to, you can reveal your heart and leave an open invitation for them to reveal theirs and see all of it change. You are the game changer because you can be emotionally rooted and grounded in Christ and his love for you. So when you share something, it's not, hey, look what you did to me. It's, I want to tell you a little bit about where I come from. I want to tell you a little bit about the thoughts I've been thinking that are scary. I want to tell you a little bit about the thing that crossed my mind that I wasn't ready to see yet. Ownership. If this is helpful, somebody say ownership. When you feel disconnected from somebody, blamed, or avoided or neglected, when you feel people pull back or you feel them get angry, the thing you are longing for is for them to go like this. And knowing that is a total game changer, because the way to get them to do this is that you can do this. So good, Lynn. Me too. That's my key as well. I am not in a trade with people. Somebody say it. I'm not in a trade. If I'm only going to reveal myself because you've got really good at revealing yourself, I'm in a trade. But I love freely because I've been freely loved. Yes. And my boundaries about when to be vulnerable and who to be vulnerable with are about, what is the Lord asking me for? Number one, is this a person or a time that he's asking me to lay it all out there for somebody? If not, I'm not doing that. I'm just not. Also, my boundary for when I'm ready to go intimacy is, will I turn it into a demand? Catch this, super important. If I'm going to put my defensiveness away, which I never want to be defensive. My defensiveness should always be put away. In wholeness, I don't need it. But that doesn't mean I'm exposing everything. Do you see how they're not just like mutually exclusive? Not being defensive doesn't mean exposing everything. Not being defensive means I have nothing to hide. Being exposed comes from a cue from the Lord, but the timing, here's my personal rule. Here's how I live it and how I teach it, how I walk people through this. The timing is that if I'm going to expose this much to you, this amount of my heart, and it's going to create a fear and an insecurity and make me put a demand on you, I'm not ready. Does this make sense? I might be able to share this much without being demanding. I might be able to share this much without being demanding. It's funny that I was wearing this vest today. I didn't plan this, but it's working. It's working good for me. I don't know if it's helping you, but it's helping me. Or I can share it all, knowing I'm just revealing my heart to you. I don't need anything in return. Christ revealed himself to humanity, demanding nothing in return. And I would go as far as saying, this is what love does. You can see all of me, and I don't need you to fix it. And I don't need you to show me you. I believe that love is being who we are when we're there, in honesty. When two people do that, that's called intimacy. Christ is God revealed, shown, unashamed, not defensive, without an agenda, except love. Y'all know what I'm talking about? This is a big one. I didn't realize it would be such a meaty topic today. I didn't know if we get to talk about defensiveness, we also get to talk about what love is. I used to think that love was all the stuff I do for people. Love was making their needs first, which I do believe love is that. But I think that without being me in it, letting me be seen while I do that, there's a lot of safety and intimacy missing. So for me, in my family, the way it works is I am a safe harbor for the people that I love because I will reveal my own battle to them. I will reveal my weaknesses and I will feel in front of them so that they can reveal their battle as well, reveal their weaknesses, and have feelings in front of me and each other. This is the culture that we live in. And for me, I've been thinking about this the last few days because my car is a wreck right now. We went on a cool adventure last week. And in general, our car is really dirty. Like we don't keep it clean. There's like a lemon cut in half that's like old and dried out in the like passenger door. I saw it today because I was cleaning out trash from there. There's like a bunch of old mail and like yogurt spills. Like our car is trashed. And I hate that. And I battle with the lie that it means I'm not doing a good job as a mom or an entrepreneur or as a leader. You know what I'm talking about? I'm doing some intimacy right now. But I would so much rather have wholehearted, clean connections with my kids and my guy than have a clean car. Because when our relationships are right, we can do any of it. When we're at peace together and we're fighting for each other in our identity, the car is no big deal. I know that at any moment I can just go out there and clean it. Is this making sense? I want to be in a family that is like a warship against darkness, where we have each other's backs in there. We know the enemy's plan against each of us and we fight for each other. We cover each other. That means the defensiveness has to go. I'm going to say this really quickly and then we're going to hit it. And we're going to be back tomorrow. It's day 22, y'all. 23 tomorrow. Defensiveness comes from a fear that if I feel or show you what I feel, I won't be in charge of what it means. It's a fear that if I feel or I show you what I feel, it will get out of control and I'll be crucified in my identity. I will find out that it was true, the scary things I think. That's all it is. When we can feel and have our thoughts and beliefs exposed and bring them to Christ to be adjusted and get our heart and mind on the truth, we no longer have a reason to be defensive because we know that storm isn't going to take us out. Feelings are just like waves that we ride. It's like a river moving through us. So the counter to defensiveness I'm going to leave you with today is to let feelings happen and let them be what they are. And listen in your head or talk out loud to somebody, get some help with sharing the way you feel, sharing what you think about things so that you can identify, is that really true? And ground yourself in truth. The weapons of our war are not carnal in nature, but they are supernatural in power to tear down a stronghold, which is a fortress that builds itself up to protect a lie. And the lie is anything that holds itself up against the knowledge of Christ and his love for us. Like I'm the idiot. Or I ruin everything. Or here I go again, blowing it. Or if I could just hold it together, everything would be fine. Or if I could just spend more time with them, my kids would finally know how loved they are. Or if my car was clean, that would mean I was finally a good leader. Lies. When we let the stronghold down, the defensiveness, we're willing to just feel through and examine what the lies are, we get to root ourselves in what's true. And the next time that thought comes, I repeat the truth to it until it leaves me alone. Know what I'm talking about? Pretty quick, my emotions will follow. And I don't have any reason to be defensive because it's okay to feel and explore what's in here. It doesn't mean anything about me. It doesn't mean anything about you. In fact, let's get it out into the light and find out what we're thinking that is incorrect and clear up the discrepancies about why I might have thought that. Okay? This feels like pretty intangible. Some of these intangible things are kind of difficult to break into frameworks and processes. And it's hard for me sometimes to tell the internet what goes on in Brave Moms Academy, because you can imagine these breakthroughs are intangible and they are glorious and beautiful and wonderful. Husbands and wives seeing each other for who they really are and becoming friends in the fight. Kids opening up about not being honest about whether or not they clean their room or what treats they're sneaking when you're not looking. Owning up to it and getting their heart right because their integrity matters for them and they know it. They know that when they're not being honest, they're having physical and mental symptoms of disintegration and they don't like it. They're lacking integrity and they love the feeling of integrity. Kids, y'all. All right. I love you so much. I will see you tomorrow. We're going to jump in at 10 o'clock to our first day of Calm and Courage Communication Coaching. If you need to know more about that, right now, at the time of this recording, it is $50 a week. You get one slice of curriculum to work a skill and a principle so that you can really practice it and nail it. How many of you know if you nail a communication style in layers, you'll keep it forever? But if you try to learn it all in one day, you'll be really great communicator for a minute and then the skills will fall away. So what we've done for you is we teach one skill, you practice that skill all week long, and then come to coaching. And you can get coaching on that skill or any other wholehearted communication skill that brings your family into this peace and truthfulness, connection, and fighting for each other. Lynn, I missed it. Bring it back. There's a comment in here that I really wanted to get to. It's gone. So it's $50 a week and there's no contract. You can cancel anytime. So if you have a tangle going on in your family, you're like, just talk to me, like work me through this fight we keep having, or talk to me about what's going on with this kid in this pattern. Okay, we can coach on that. And then you can go, get what you need and go. Or you can stay, cancel anytime. Okay? Or we've made it $99 a month if you want to stay all month and every month this year. So if you stay for 12 months in a row, it's like more than half off. And we're going to be weekly coaching together and weekly getting a new skill. And here's what's fun. If you make a post in the community about the skill you're working on, you can also work all the way through the Brave Moms Academy content. So every skill that you make a post about will unlock more curriculum for you. How cool is that? Oh, yes, Lynn, so good. Thank you for putting it back. That's so kind. She was saying, I've been burned by people using my vulnerability against me. Yeah, need to let the Holy Spirit lead. Yes. There's two parts to that. Oh, I'm so glad you said this, because there's letting him lead. Like, when is the vulnerability going to be fruitful? And then also, like, no one can hurt me. No one can use it against me because I'm a free agent. And I'm so sure of that. And I'm not worried about hurting people's feelings. So I do what I must do. And I do what is part of who I am and not what's not. So no one can use me. I become unusable. Not woundable, not manipulatable. How cool would that be? Ah, so good. This stuff gets me jacked, you guys. Because you've got to understand the transformation in my life was so dramatic. I went from a woman whose world was wound up around the world of a man twice. Well, for my entire teenage life. First, a bunch of different boys, and then my husband, and then my false husband, the second guy, to being a free agent who is not manipulatable. Which is why I can get on here on the internet and open my chest and say, here's what I struggle with today. Because no one can use it against me, because what does that even mean, against me? You know what I'm saying? People used to be able to use me, but I'm not usable. Oh, but I know what you're talking about, and we're going to work all the way through that. I'm so excited for those of you who are joining us. Shoot me a message if you need some Calm and Courage communication training. And if not, today, I'll see you tomorrow. And if not the next day, I'll see you the next day. And we're going to keep going until January 30. And then y'all, I don't know, we might keep going after that too. I'm not sure what's after this. Jesus just said 30 days. Okay. I love you very much. I want you to go contemplate today. What areas of your life are you defensive about? And are there safe people that you can open up to? Lynn, I love that too. And I want to talk more about it because that's like such a rad, to me, that's like the greatest part of what we get to do is like knowing, walking down a path where manipulation shakes loose in every area of your life because it just doesn't work on you anymore. It can't work anymore because you are so confident about who you are, what you're going to do, what you're going to say, and where you're going. And so responsible to mean what you say and say what you mean. And it takes time. This is so exciting, y'all. Okay, guys, I'll see you soon. See you tomorrow. I pray that this is lighting a fire in your spirit to become the glorious being that you are on display for the people who you love so that they can do that same thing with you. Okay. See you soon.